Hello there, my name is Anthony Barocas from StreamTech. Today I want to tell you about my hands-on experience using the DJI Mic 2. First, a bit of disclosure, DJI provided this microphone kit for me to use at NAB. I have to return it. They did not pay me for it. I did not pay them for it. There's no monetary connection between DJI and myself. They also don't have a say in what this review is. It's just my personal experience using this microphone system for a series of over 20 interviews on the NAB show floor. If you haven't seen my NAB coverage, it's available on my StreamTech channel. And to do that, I used this Insta360 camera, which is mine. I purchased it with my own money, as well as the cage and everything else. And I used this to interview myself and whoever I was talking to with this camera so that I would be able to cut between myself and them without using a camera operator. So you can see that footage. Hello there, my name is Anthony Barocas from StreamTech here in the Bird Dog booth.
I'm really excited about this NAB. We've been around for a little while now.
It puts you in a little bit of a catch-22.
And we can announce it and just go straight for it. And it's really exciting.
I use the on-body microphones from DJI and I would clip them onto each person and also record them on the receiver, which was plugged into here. In most cases, I used the audio as recorded by the camera. There were a couple instances where there was a lot of RF interference and I was able to utilize the built-in recording of the DJI system to be able to recover clean audio from the microphones themselves. This is almost minimal packaging. In the box comes this bag, and at first it seems like they just give you like this little bag, but I have to say, I've seen other reviewers say they don't like to have to carry on this bag, but I did a review previously of the Full Aim, and the Full Aim comes with the same sort of big battery pack that holds the two microphones and the receiver. That's great, but you still need to have the wireless microphones, the cables, the windscreens, the charging adapter, and everything else. So I ended up having to bring this entire box in order to have all the accessories when I traveled. With the DJI kit, they give you this little travel bag, which is padded on the outside, and inside fits the magnetic holder, the lavalier microphones, the windscreens, and they even included for this review the white microphone that if someone was wearing white, I could have them wear that. So I was able to include extra things, including the windscreens that plug neatly into the top like that. Very cool. So I found it very handy. Like, it even included extra stuff that I needed to have with me, like this little micro SD adapter for the 360 camera so that I could ingest it into a normal computer slot. I just put this into the bag because the bag was just very handy and it had the extra space to carry a little bit of extra stuff. That I found very handy. In the little battery case you open it up and it'll wake up the kit. It'll make sure that they're all synced together. It says all the batteries are connected, the two transmitters. You can go into the menu system and tell this to start recording as soon as you pull them out, making it sort of hard to forget. And it ensures that you get the recordings that you want, especially if you're going to put them back into the case each time when you're done, which I wasn't doing. Another feature you can do on here is you can set it so that when it senses the camera powers on through the voltage back through the headphone adapter, or the microphone input, I should say, then it will start the recording on the transmitters. Lots of functionality here in terms of ensuring that you get the best recordings possible. In addition to the fact that this is a 32-bit float system, that is something I did not use. I was unsure how much I would be recording on the show floor, so rather than run out of space, I opted for normal audio recording, not the 32-bit, so I can't speak to how that saved me in the end because it's something I didn't use. When you pull these out, you have the transmitters, which have this little see-through thing. They have a little clip here, and they have a magnet. So you can easily, if you wanted to, just clip it on like that, and it's ready to go. I didn't use the magnet so much because some people were wearing like sweaters and things like that. So I just went with the clip like that. You'll see it in the videos that I just wore it like that. Now, again, this is one of those that blatantly advertises, you know, whose microphone you're using, which I am not a fan of, but you could cover that with black tape if you wanted. But the fact that the magnet and the clip are both included, it's not a magnet or a clip, it's both, and they're very strong. On the side here, you have the ability to connect the microphone to your computer to take off the media, which I did. I will note that there was an instance where accidentally pressing the link button on the side kind of set the transmitter into Bluetooth mode, and I didn't want to do that. So if you go through the relinking process, it's going to relink to both of these. So you'll see both of these blink green, and it's going to relink the transmitters. I had a little bit of trouble getting the second one to properly relink. Now, I was able to do it at NAB on the show floor by following the directions in the manual. But as you can see, it's not a process that even if you force it to do it manually, it works very easily. The trick is basically to press and hold the record button for 3 seconds to switch it between going Bluetooth mode or regular linking mode. So if you push this and hold it 1, 2, 3, there it goes. Now it's blinking and it's linked. And that was a tricky situation to figure out in the field, because when you put them on and off, you touch the sides naturally. So somebody pushing the Bluetooth button for a couple seconds and delinking it from the receiver was a side effect of trying to have more features in the transmitter than you have buttons on the side. The DJI charging case comes with a little USB-C on the back for charging and lights on the front, and it locks shut, so you don't have to worry about it falling open or being accidentally opened when you pull it out of the bag. When you open it, it's going to fire them all up naturally. They fire up automatically, and you can see there's my audio right here. This screen is both a touch screen and there's a dial. So if you swing down, you can see that I've got the noise reduction on both of those. And in the field, what I would do is I would swipe up from the bottom, transmitter 1 record. I would set that to record. There's the noise reduction on and off. I'd bring it down, swipe up here on the other side, transmitter 2 record. So you're swiping on the side of that receiver. And you can see the signal strength of both, the batteries, and swiping down from the top of the screen takes you to the menu. You got receiver settings, transmitter settings, and overall settings. Unfortunately, it doesn't loop around, so then you have to go back. Not so bad with this, just 3 menus, but when you've got more, like in receiver settings, you've got stereo, your connected camera settings, your receiver gain, headphone volume, and whether you wanted to just turn on and off automatically with the camera, your receiver auto off, your links. Now all of a sudden it would be nice if it looped back around, but it doesn't. The stereo and mono is something I used because I wanted to record discrete tracks in my Insta360, but then I also used them for a live show where I wanted to have 2 different people, but mix the mono for the viewing audience and switch between whether it is outputting stereo or mono using that setting. Another really nice thing is this hot shoe connector on the back. So whether you're going to iOS or whether you're going to now more universal USB-C, you can put this in here. It clicks into place, and this will connect directly to your phone. Now, interestingly, the Insta360 has an audio input on the side that goes to USB-C. This doesn't reach inside this frame that I had to protect the Insta360. I tried to use a little USB-C extender cable, but I got no audio out of it. So it seems destined for just phones as opposed to other devices that may also use USB-C. For this, I had to use the audio adapter that takes audio, an analog audio in and puts it on USB-C into the Insta360. One thing I didn't like was it has this shoe on the bottom, but it's too loose for my tastes, because when I put it into the shoe area, it just falls through. There's no way to tighten this, like if it had a screw on top that would tighten it against the base of where I'm putting it. It doesn't have enough friction to stay in place where I wanted to use it, and there's no adjustment of this foot. Although I didn't use it because I was indoors, I came prepared with the little fuzzy windscreens because I felt we may be underneath a big air vent or something like that, and the wind blowing on the microphone on top of the receiver is going to create a lot of noise. So I came prepared with the windscreens, which I have to say, these are the easiest to mount windscreens. They use a little headphone type thing, and it fits right in here over top, and you're connected. And that provides a little fuzzy windscreen to stop the wind blowing from distorting your audio on the receiver or on the microphone itself. And they come out just as easy. So that, I have to say, is one of the easiest ways to mount a fuzzy windscreen over top of your wireless microphone that I've had the opportunity to use. I was also very happy that DJI sent along a white one, which is a separate purchase. Now, it has the same exact features, internal recording, Bluetooth capability, and things like that in 32-bit float that you get with the black ones. And that way, if I encountered a woman who was wearing a white blouse or something, this would be a lot less visually jarring than a big black transmitter on the dress. However, that was never really an issue, and if I needed to, I could also just use the lavalier microphone if that was going to be very much of an issue. Now, I did not use the lavaliers for this shoot. These proved to be very convenient, provide the good audio that I expected. I checked it after the first 2 recordings I did, and this was just a lot simpler rather than having them clip this on and then also run a lavalier microphone. So the convenience of these all-in-one devices cannot be understated. I was initially reluctant because of the size, and they do have some serious weight to them. But for the 20 different interviews I did on the NAB show floor, nobody had any issue clipping this on their shirt, and the audio that they delivered was exactly what I needed for all of these interviews. There's lots of other videos out there showing you audio comparisons in 32-bit depth and going through the entire menu system. I'm not going to belabor that point. I'm merely talking about my experience with the DJI systems. And I have to say, being able to easily set each of these to record, having the noise reduction as an additional isolation so that I have better audio from the person that's right in front of me, and I did it here so that I didn't have to do it in post. Now, there are some people who would rather record 32-bit float, make sure they have all the audio, only use the recordings from the microphones themselves, and then do all of your audio post-processing in post. You can do that. I chose to streamline my system to the audio noise reduction in the microphone. I had the recordings as a backup, and I did have to use them on 2 occasions where there was glitchy audio because of so much other RF right next to me. And I did choose to record stereo in the camera so that I did have split tracks, so that if the audio levels were different, I could fix that in post. That turned out not to be much of an issue, really. One thing I will note about the menu system in the receiver is the interface is not necessarily consistent throughout. Like if you come over to the camera settings and you go into camera settings, the brand none. So if you want to change the model, you say brand, Canon. We're going to select that. And now you see how the information is on the right. So you have, this is the item we're changing. Let me actually come out of this and turn it back to none. Select. And let me exit this and come back over to stereo. And this is a feature that I did use. So I come into stereo. Now you would think stereo, left and right, and you would think you're going to change the thing on the right, but you don't. It's left and right, right and left. In order to change stereo to mono, you got to change the thing on the left. So if you see a touch over here on the left, now it switches between mono with a safety track, stereo, mono. So you're changing the left item on the left and the right item on the right, which is different than other areas. And here you can see the menu for the low cut is either off or on. So now you're using both sides to switch one thing. In the end, I was able to figure things out and able to do what I needed to do. It just took a little bit more thinking because of the inconsistencies in the menu system. This is the setup as I used it on the NAB show floor. Here you can see the receiver is in the shoe. I've got the analog output. It goes across the back of the unit here, goes into the analog input, which goes into USB-C. Let's wake the screen up again. And in using it, I would just swipe, start that channel to record, swipe, start this channel to record, and then hit the record button on the camera, and I was ready to go. I just did my interview. We talked about different things, and the camera recorded everything, and the microphones recorded the audio. When I was done, I'd stop recording. I'd come over here, hit stop, come over here, hit stop, and I was done. That was about as simple as you could possibly make it. I kept my microphone on the entire time, and I just had to hand that one microphone and get it back. So that did exactly what I needed it to do. Another feature I really liked is not only can you adjust the levels of each microphone, but I was able to adjust the output level because on the receiver, it was showing me that I had a very hot signal. So I was able to dial it down here. Ironically enough, when I got into post, the signal that looked so hot on the meter of the Insta360 was actually like only 50% up, was only 50% high on the meters in Adobe Premiere Pro. So that's an Insta360 metering issue, separate from what I was able to do here, but being able to like see what the camera is saying and then make an adjustment on the output of the receiver here really helped me out and made sure that I wasn't clipping going into the camera. When I used the DJI mics at NAB, my goal was to have something that was both easy to deploy, put on and off multiple people, multiple times throughout every day for several days, would allow me to also record audio just in case the wireless was not reliable in a broadcast convention where there's already going to be lots of other wireless. And I wanted it to be easy to pick up and use for me because I didn't have a whole lot of time. It wasn't something I owned. It was loaned to me from DJI. So it had to be something fairly easy to pick up. And the DJI wireless mics were all of those things. I was able to pick up and understand the built-in menu system, the touchscreen menus, the powering system, onboard recording, and also the ease of use, being able to put them on people and take them off of people very quickly and easily really helped make my 20 different videos filmed on the NAB convention floor work better than I ever expected. So this has been my look at the DJI Mic 2 wireless system. I have to say it has delivered on all of the things I asked it to do, which is all I can ask of gear that I use. My name is Anthony Barocas. Thanks for watching.